what the business is. It's the man D3, and this is the No Cap Recap, Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 1. So start off in downtown Atlanta. That shit out there done went from really bad to fucked up. Stray dogs out there eating dead walkers, walkers eating live stray dogs. It's just a whole fucked up circle of life. Rick basically just thinking out loud, but he called himself talking to Morgan. Who he's talking to is not a motherfucking soul. The team about to start thinking you crazy, cause you the only one that's ever seen or spoken to Morgan, and it's starting to seem like you have an imaginary friend. If they thought that, you couldn't even blame them. Shane unusual ass in the cut, daydreaming about and spying on Lori same damn time. But Rick kissed her, now he visibly devastated. It was already the second option, and the CDC spontaneously combusted. They hit the road on the way to Fort Benning. Everybody lands in the intro truck. Intro, they on some country ass highway in the Georgia backwoods. Daryl on his store brand Harley. Rick driving that busted ass KC Jones pickup truck with, of course, Lori and Carl. He let Sophia and Carol ride with him. Ain't Lori lost sight that this trip was strictly for survival, carrying it like a family vacation, reminiscing about the Grand Canyon and shit. Nobody in the car trying to hear that shit. You could see it in Sophia's face that she definitely ain't. Dale driving the RV, he got Glenn, Andrea, and Shane with him. Shane doing firearm maintenance and Glenn riding shotgun with a map, so I'm guessing he the navigator. Up the country ass highway, they path get blocked by a flipped over 18 wheeler. Glenn said the best idea would be to turn around, get off the highway, and then try to get on further up. Dale stubborn ass rather take that big ass RV on this vehicular obstacle course. What's the purpose of being the motherfucker in charge of the map if the driver just gonna deny your suggested detour? Now you ain't even no navigator, you just in the front seat with a piece of paper. RV broke down a half a minute later. Would've never happened if they listened to Glenn. It's a Dale old Brady Bunch looking ass piece of shit. Disco era RV. The whole team stuck on this highway. It's the upside to it though. Most of these cars still got gas in them. Ain't no telling what else, so they just start searching. Highway ended up being somewhat of a come up. Gas, some weapons, some clothes. Shane found a shitload of water. They ain't even had time to celebrate or put shit away. Rick and Dale both see the same flash mob of walkers appear out of nowhere through a scope and binoculars. Already clear who had which item. That's at the very least 3,000 walkers. She was the only one in the RV. She just ducked off in the bathroom. Everybody else hid under the nearest car or truck. One rebellious motherfucker welcomed himself into the RV. Andrea in a fucked up spot, but she got a gun. If she shoot just to kill that one walker, it's gonna bring the rest of the party to her. She ain't got enough bullets for that. Dale slide her a screwdriver through the skylight. Being on top of the RV paid off this time. I don't know the whole story about the screwdriver, but I know that shit got some kind of special ability. Shit transformed Andrea from the helpless victim to the aggressive aggressor. T-Dog tried to duck behind the wrecked car. Something split his forearm from the wrist to the elbow. Everybody sticking to their hiding spots, just waiting for this herd to pass. Sophia take it on herself to check if the coast is clear. She soon realized won't shit clear about it, cause two walkers ran down and frightened the fruit snacks out her ass and took off running into the woods. Rick log rolled down that motherfucker and started running after. The little girl fast as a motherfucker, but Rick eventually caught up. First thing she do when she realizes Rick is trying to arm herself from his waist. Instead of letting her borrow the tool, he just set her up with a decent ass hiding spot until he killed the walkers and that he'll come back for. But the minute he left, she left. Rick killed both walkers with one stone and find Sophia where he knew he left her at. With the help of Daryl's tracking expertise, they set out to go find her. Andrea and Dale trying to clear those abandoned cars out the way. Rick asking Daryl all kind of annoying questions about his tracking skills. Daryl told him to shut the fuck up so he could concentrate. You the one asked him to come utilize his unique skill set. Now if your small talk broke his focus and he lost the trail, that would have been on you. Carl came to come show Shane something, but Shane was very short with him. Just trying to stay the fuck away from Lori and her family like she asked him to. She gets an attitude with Shane about that. Told him to stay completely away from you and yours. That's your attitude with him on his initial fallback attempt. Bitch, what do you want? Rick and Daryl so desperate to find Sophia, they cutting open walker stomachs and looking for human flesh. Even if they found it, how the fuck would they know if it was her or not? They go back to the highway to recruit some more bodies for the search party. Most of the team went out to go find Sophia. T-Dog and Dale stayed back just in case she came back to the highway. Dale told T-Dog that he been had the RV fixed. He just ain't feel like hearing nobody's mouth about trying to leave without Sophia. Looking for Sophia, they heard church bells, and so they take off running in this direction. They get to the church and it's three walkers in there having Bible study. So they put them down real quick. Inside the church, Andrea was air hustling on Shane and Lori's conversation. So now she know about their affair and she knows Shane about to sneak off. She run down on Shane about how she want to go with him and Shane with it. They about to dip the night. Rick, Shane, and Carl stayed at the church just in case Sophia came. Everybody else split off and dipped back to the highway. Rick went to the altar and half screamed, half whispered a prayer. Lori bucked on everybody, said she was sick of the dirty looks that her and Rick was getting. She got her point across too, had them motherfuckers on silent lunch. Rick, Carl, and Shane made their way back to join the others and they saw a friendly deer and Carl wanted to pet it. A random bullet went through the deer and hit Carl. Then it went off.